I'm going to move ahead now, and I'm going to bring on an actor who I think a lot of you are going to be very excited to see. We've had a lot of requests come in for VIP questions with this gentleman. You know him as Justin on the show. And he's going to look exactly the same. It's going to be like you turn your TV off and he's right there. We love him and hate him for that. Would you please welcome the incredible Randy Harrison. Hi, Randy.
Hey, Scott, I'm on TV.
You're on TV again. See, you told me you wanted to be on TV again, and I got you on TV. What do you think about that?
I think it's great. You're doing such a good job. I've been dying watching it the past 2 hours.
Dying like for me or?
No, dying in a good way. I'm seeing everybody again.
It's lovely, right?
Yes, it's amazing.
It's a really beautiful thing. I want to bring on some friends for you. Would you like that?
I would love friends.
Some friends you maybe haven't seen for a while. I want to first bring on, we just love her so much. Michaela, who played Daphne, of course, Justin's best friend on the show, and another one who looks exactly the same, and we just adore her. Please welcome Michaela Smith. Hi, Michaela.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you? How is everyone?
Everyone's
We're doing okay.
The last time I saw Michaela, she was right about to have a baby.
Yes, about to pop.
You were about to pop in Germany.
Yeah. She's 5 now, so
5 years?
It's been a while.
That's beautiful. And how, Michaela, can talk about a little, because you, Daphne was in that, very first episode of the show. You just had to dive into this thing, going to the clubs, all that kind of stuff. How old were you when we were filming those first episodes?
I was young. I want to say I was 16 or 17 at the time.
Illegal. Why were you allowed into the show?
There were parts where I was not supposed to go. There were areas that were off limits.
Was it eye-opening? What did you think about it? Was it a little overwhelming?
You know what? It wasn't that much. My mom was an actress, so I was kind of in the showbiz life. So I was used to characters, let's say. So it wasn't that crazy for me. It was fun.
And as the only woman who got to somewhat get it on with Randy Harrison on Queer as Folk, can you talk about that a little for the other women out there who might like to get it on with Randy?
I know that there's people who are jealous. It was scary though, right? For me at least, it was scary. Obviously, I was young, and of course, it was a closed set, but still, it was an odd thing to be doing in front of a bunch of people.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Never get used to it.
Yeah. Do you have any kind of just one favorite memory off the top of your head you can think of, something that stands out when you look back on your years?
There's so many memories. It's hard to pick one that just shines above all of the others. I think one of my favorites was the dance, the prom. Prom was up there. That was a really fun night.
I agree. That's a beautiful episode. And we're going to, I'm going to play in a little bit an interview we did with Alex Chappell, who was the director who directed that episode. And he talks about that as a real highlight for him as well.
Yeah.
Well, I want to bring in another pal of Justin's, but in a darker way, in a way that made a lot of people very angry. But he's the most delightful person in real life. Would you please welcome Fab Filippo, please? Hi, Fab.
Hello.
Hey.
How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great. Randy, it's you and Fab again. Look at that.
Hi, Randy.
How are you?
Oh, my God. I'm already nervous.
I was nervous an hour ago.
Yeah. No, I mean, I just see you, and I'm like, I feel like we're gonna have like a sex meeting, and then.
I was just remembering that your character had a cat, and you were allergic to cats, and how we'd have to shoot you out and then bring the cat on set. I totally forgot about that until I was seeing all these faces again.
That's hilarious.
That's all right. And Fab, do you have what was your thoughts coming on the show, and how, being one of those characters on the show that, shall we say, drew the ire of a lot of the Brian Justin worshipers out there. How have you dealt with that over the years, or even at the time, did you experience it?
Yeah, no, it's funny because I think that sometimes people can't really tell the difference between you as a person and you as a character. And, you know, I found myself wanting to defend myself a lot, but like, you know, holding back. And I remember one of my best memories, just after the show had aired, after our episodes had aired, I was walking in an underground parking garage, and a motorcycle goes by, does a circle of the whole thing, and then comes back and stops. The guy gets off his motorbike, takes off his helmet, walks right up to me, and goes, "You're on that show." And I was like, "Yeah." And then he goes, "I'm not gay." And I was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah. And then he just puts his helmet on and gets back on the bike and drives off. I was like, yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm pretty sure he was gay.
It was the helmet that tipped you off?
Yeah. And the need to tell someone he wasn't gay.
Awesome. Well, Michaela and Fab, it's so great to see you. I really appreciate you coming on and helping us support Centerlink and raising monies for the centers out there, and seeing your old pal Randy again.
Thank you. So good to see you guys. You look so good. I want to say hi to Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
Yeah. And thanks so much, guys, for having me.
It's great
Thank
to see you
you.
guys.
We'll see you soon, I hope. Bye, guys.
See ya.
So good to see them. They look exactly the same, don't they? What is with you people?
Well, people don't age.
People don't age.
It's
So-
living Toronto.
I think we have, I'm looking in my my green room here. I think we have a couple of VIP guests. Yes, are you waving at me, VIP guests who have
Fans.
donated so generously to Centerlink for the opportunity to come on and speak with Randy Harrison for a little bit. And I think the first person is it Corey? Am I getting the right name? Corey Blake. We're going to bring Corey Blake on. Hi, Corey.
Hello.
Hi,
How are
Corey.
you? This is
Donating.
Randy.
It's good
How's
to
it
meet
going?
Who's that puppy?
Good to meet you too.
you. So cute.
This is my dog Barry.
Hey, Barry.
Hi, Barry.
Hi.
What would you like to talk about with Randy?
Yeah, so I had a couple questions here that I put down. One, where would you like to imagine that your character, Justin and Brian, would be at right now?
I have no idea where Brian would be. I haven't thought about that. I feel like Justin wanted domesticity ultimately, maybe. So I would like to think he went to New York and had a noble attempt at an arts career. I feel like he probably ended up in something arts related, and found the man of his dreams and moved to the suburbs and raised a family. Probably lives in like Westchester and commutes.
It's very specific, but you haven't given it much thought. But it's on Elm Street.
Well, I mean, I think of him as a commuter. I feel like he's still working in the city, but I don't think he lives in the city. I'm sure he had like his like Chelsea period. It would have been Chelsea in like the early 2000s that he would have wanted to live probably. And then what? He found some rich guy and then left
I
town.
love this.
All right, second question for you. This one is one that I'm really curious about. So if you were to create another Rage comic right now in 2020, what would you go for? What would the theme do you think for Rage?
I mean, I think rage is still a very appropriate theme for marginalized people, and I think we need to continue to use our rage and celebrate it. So I would take that and move it forward to what's happening now. There's a lot, actually, more reasons to be angry.
Yeah. Let's see. Do you have other things written down here? What was the most difficult part of filming a show like Queer as Folk that can, be a little risque?
Yeah. You mean like the most difficult part about doing sexual content, or just about the show in general?
The show in general. Even sexual content as well, either one.
As far as the shooting of it, the most difficult thing was the hours were crazy. So especially if you had an episode that you were really heavily featured in, sometimes you'd be starting work at 4 or 5 in the morning on a Monday and wrapping at the same time on a Saturday morning. That said, compared to the crew, the actors had it easy, but that was exhausting. And then as far as the whole experience, for me, like when the show originally took off and I started to get recognized, that was really hard for me initially, because it was a big adjustment to adjust to being a public person, because it just is not in my nature. So it was a bit of a shock to my system. Even now, even doing this.
What would your best fan experience have been? So the most positive experience with the fan?
Like 99% of the experiences I have are amazing. And especially the farther and farther we get from when the show actually aired, I encounter more and more people who came to the show at a time in their life where they desperately needed to see themselves represented, and the show offered that. I've had so many people tell me that they saw our show and they felt less alone from the environment they were in at the time. I have so many stories that I hear about people who were given hope by seeing these characters and watching the show. And every time I hear it, it's moving. I mean, it makes you realize that something I did 20 years ago made a difference and continues to make a difference. And that's a gift that, I mean, it's more than any actor can expect to receive.
Right. Yeah. Well, the show definitely did mean a lot to me. So
thank you.
Thank you so much, Corey. It's lovely to meet you. Thanks so much for giving to Centrelink too. Really appreciate it.
Good to meet you.
Bye.
Have a good day.
You too. All right, we have one more VIP guest, but before we get to them, we have a last minute. How'd you do, Randy? That was good.
I forgot his dog's name. Was it Barry?
I think so. I was drinking kombucha at the time. But
we have Barry, and then I didn't want to screw it up.
No, you did fine. And we have someone else special to say hi to you before we get to Alex. Your mom. Your mom is here, Sherry Miller.
Sherry. You look gorgeous.
Oh my God. Hi, Randy.
So good to see you.
You know, I'm sure you did too, but I had the privilege of seeing Randy rocket in Cabaret when the show came through a big theater here in Toronto, and with my 3 kids too.
Oh, great.
It was so good to meet
you.
Were you just so proud of him? Do you feel maternally towards him?
Sorry?
Do you feel maternally towards Randy?
Totally, except, I'm not sure, Randy. I think that I was on set on your first day on set.
I think you were.
I think
so too.
Like it was a swimming pool thingy. I don't know.
And Mikhail and I were sitting.
And I remember feeling, oh my gosh, I'm getting verklempt. I remember feeling that I felt such an affinity with you, and I wasn't sure if it was maternal or just the kind of guy I felt like you were, and you were fresh out of theater school.
Yeah.
Like you hardly done any cameras. And I just remember thinking, oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be just fine. So there we are.
There you are. Well, Sherry, I'm so grateful you were able to come on and join us and help us support Centrelink and say hi to Randy.
So good to see you, Sherry.
You too. You know what? Can I just do one teensy 10-second plug?
Please.
Spent the morning watching Adoptable, which is, as you know, Scott's creation, writing, executive producing, acting.
I'll put up my banner.
It's fantastic. And for all the Queer as Folk guys out there who, after they binge watch Queer again, they have to check it out, because they can also see Sharon and Gail too.
Thank you, Sherry. That's so sweet of you. It just so happened that I had a banner to put up to tell people where they can watch Adoptable. So I appreciate that.
Okay, good. And I'll email you later. I didn't think I could carry on about it in this particular
Oh,
situation.
that means so much to me. Thank you for watching it. I really appreciate you doing that. And thank you for that.
Okay.
Bye, Sherry. It's so good to
Are
see
guys-
you.
Love you, Randy.
Love you.
Okay.
Love you,
Take-
Sherry. Bye.
All right.
Your mom, Sherry Miller.
The best.
Isn't that awesome? She's the best. All right. Now we have another VIP guest who wants to come and say hello to you. This is Alex. Hi, Alex. How are you? There's two of you there.
Doing well. This
I'm
is
snuck
Sarah.
in. I'm their partner, Sarah.
Oh, what's your name?
Sarah.
Sahara?
Sarah.
Sarah.
Way more interesting.
She's
We're
older.
calling in from Brooklyn, New York. How
Hey,
are
I'm
you
in
all doing?
Brooklyn too.
Oh, we're neighbors.
Randy's usually in Brooklyn. He lives like 10 minutes away from me.
I escaped,
Oh,
but I miss it.
lucky you.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, thank you for thank you for donating to Centrelink so much. I will shut up and let you talk with Randy Harrison, who you wanted to talk to.
Oh, amazing. I love talking to both of you. I'm such a huge fan and definitely want to thank you both for your work on the show. And in particular, Randy, I came out nearly 20 years ago now. It seems like forever ago. And it meant so much to see like another young queer person on the screen. So that was amazing. And thank you both. Thank you both for the fundraiser. I'm also on the board of the Brooklyn Community Pride Center, so I can attest to the work that you're supporting here today. So thank you so much. And I really have just one question, and I just wanted to know, Randy, were there any storylines that you didn't get to do back when the show was on that you would have loved to cover?
I can't think of any. I mean, the writers were very open to listening to our suggestions and talking to us about different ideas we had. So I know, I feel like we incorporated everything that I thought of at the time.
Any extras you had crushes on? Any extras you had crushes on? You wish there'd been another storyline there?
Well, after the Fab storyline, we realized that whenever Justin did it, anybody else, the audience turned on them. So I would subject another actor to have to take Justin. That's fine.
You're like the Black Widow. Whoever kisses Justin other than Brian, they're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's definitely fair. Well, if you were to join the cast again, if the show were to come back, what sort of storyline would you like to explore besides the domesticity you mentioned?
I mean, I feel like it's such a different thing to be queer now, in a lot of ways, and I would want to address all that. I would want more trans characters and gender variant characters. I would want more characters of color. I would want to talk about how apps have changed, how PrEP has changed, the way gay people relate and congregate. I mean, there's so many things that there are to talk about. It's a shame there aren't like 5 gay shows on TV all the time, because there's a million things that we have to talk about, and there's a million queer storylines that still aren't getting represented. And so I feel like there's an unending wealth of storylines about queer people that could be put on television right now.
True.
Definitely. Well, thanks so much, you two.
Thank you both.
Thank you so much for your donation and for coming on.
Stay safe and well. I will see you in the park when things are better.
Yes,
Hope so.
hopefully.
Okay. Take good care. Thank you so much again for donating.
Bye.
Bye. That's cool. Let's bring in TV's Peter Page. I surprised him a little bit.
You did. I was typing things. Hello, Henry Harrison. How are you, my love?
Peter, I'm good. I love your shirt.
Thank you so much. I wore something slightly Emmety just to give a little vibe.
Flavor.
I confuse people with your maskness.
That's often my problem. My mask promotion.
Oh,
That's the only maskness I have in spades.
Petey, were there any questions from the YouTube folk for Randolph, or did we cover?
I think we really covered them. Randy, do you? But I want everybody to answer this question because it's such a good one. What's your favorite, like, single one scene? The scene you'll never see anywhere else but Queer as Folk that you got to do. What's the scene you're most proud of on the show?
Oh, definitely the prom, the dance.
Yeah.
I got to dance. We got to rehearse the dance. I got to dance with a boy. I got to get beat in the head afterwards. It was perfect.
It was so powerful and so beautiful. We were talking to Alex Chappell the other day, which it's going to come up shortly.
Right next.
About that scene, and he talks about having to reshoot the shot of you turning your head, and the fact that it actually is Hal Sparks. If we
Spoiler alert.
Well, they'll get over it.
Well, I know that story a lot because it was like a pickup after we basically wrapped season 1.
Yes, it was the very last shot of season 1.
And I feel like half the cast and half the crew took turns hitting me in the head with a Nerf bat.
It was not. No, it was not a pinata. It was only Hal.
It was Hal Sparks, but he really enjoyed it, as far as I recall.
He did. I have video of it somewhere. It's all back in LA. I don't have it, but I have a video of Hal, and there was glee on his face.
For sure.
Not
For
the
sure.
show, but actual glee.
Oh.
Well, that's
So
a
good to
perfect
see you.
segue to get into going to listen to the amazing Alex Chappell. Randy, thank you so much.
Thank you, Scott.
And we'll see you back at the end of the show, yeah?
Of course.
All right. Thank you, my friend.
Bye.
See you a little later. Bye, PD Page. We'll see you soon, too. Anything, anything else you want to tell me?
No, I don't think so. Not right now.
All right. I love you.
I love you. You're bringing me back on shortly with Salvatore, right after this?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, we got two videos and then you and Salvatore.
Okay, great.
Bye. All right. I want to bring Randy back to speak with Richard. Is that correct? Did I get this right? Hi, Richard.
Hi, Richard.
Hi, Richard. Can you hear us?
Hi.
Hi.
How are you guys?
How are you?
I can hear you.
Great. You're here with Randy.
Great. Thank you. Or hope you guys are all well.
Very well.
Yes. How are you doing, Randy?
I'm good. I'm really good, considering the circumstances.
Yes. Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Everybody's well, my family and safe, so that's good.
Good.
Good. I wanted to know how you feel Brian and Justin would have continued on if the show continued. Do you think they ever would have got back together? Would they never spoke to each other again, or would they would have just did separate lives?
I mean, I really don't know. I feel like they were together for 5 years and it was the most formative relationship of Justin's life. So, at least in the course of the series. So I would doubt that they would never see each other again. I really don't know. I mean, I would imagine they would always be in each other's lives to some extent, whether it would, go back to another romantic relationship or they'd just be like dear, dear old friends. I think they would maintain something without a doubt.
What was your favorite storyline within the show?
My favorite thing was doing the prom. My favorite. It was this amazing moment where at the end of an entire season of shooting, my character really sort of got the fantasy that he had been dreaming of. It was such a joy to shoot. It was such a joy to play. I got to dance and it was really, really, really satisfying. And it's still my favorite. The whole arc of the end of the first season is still my very, very favorite to look back on.
Thank you so much, Richard. I appreciate it. You're doing well, my friend, I hope?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you for donating.
Thank you so much for giving money to Centrelink. We really appreciate it. Stay well.
Yeah.
Bye, Richard.
Bye, Richard. All right. Well, we had Sharon Gless back, and now it's saying her device is not connected. So I'm sorry, Cricket. Make you wait a little bit more. We have someone. Let me ask this gentleman. Hi.
Hi. How are you?
You're here for Sharon also?
That's okay. I'm here for anyone. I just want to say thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Well, thank you. You can say thank you to Randy Harrison.
I will do that. And you
I'll take it everyone.
Age. But Queer as Folk premiered the month and year that I came out. So I was 21 years old at the time. And, of course, I had Ellen and Will and Grace, and I think there was a same-sex kiss maybe on Roseanne and Melrose Place that caused a stir, but nothing like Queer as Folk. And so I just wanted to say thanks to the creators, writers, cast, crew, everyone involved with it. It was nothing like I had seen, and I could really see myself in the show. And Randy, for you in particular, I went through Justin's journey with him as one who was also going through the same journey. So the show really holds a special place in my heart.
Thank you. It does for me too. I'm happy to have been a part of it for you and for everybody.
And I want to let anyone who's younger or just getting into the show know you can, of course, stream it on TV. But also, if you watch the DVDs, it has a lot of the original music that I think really makes purposes, and it adds a lot to the show. So that's my recommendation.
I agree. Thank you for saying that. I agree. Find those DVDs, the original soundtrack. Mwah.
Okay.
Thank
Rob,
you guys
thanks
so much.
and thanks for your support today. Really appreciate that.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Have we got Sharon back yet? No, we do not. Randy, I'll let you go. We have one more guest here. I'm going to see. Oh, I know this gentleman.